Two weapons enter the ring, and one comes out victorious. Today, we're pinning two very powerful hand cannons together that were both introduced inside the Witch Queen of Destiny 2. That's right, I'm talking about Cantata-57 as well as the Crisis Inverted. Crisis Inverted you can obtain from the Crucible. I believe it is a random drop. I got one randomly from a game. And then Cantata-57 is a Suros Foundry weapon, probably one of my personal favorites inside of Destiny 2 so far, and is a world drop as well from various activities. Both of these weapons are amazing. In fact, they each represent a very similar playstyle, both feeling very good in your hands as you're going through PvE or PvE content. In fact, I almost found them difficult to tell apart, given the fact that they were both very good to use, which is why we're pinning them together. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at both the roles that I have for these weapons that I paired against one another and have taken through various Crucible matches in an effort to determine which one is the superior hand cannon inside of Destiny 2. So let's get right into it. So we started out this versus battle with Cantata-57, and specifically I have a number of rolls on this weapon, but I decided to go with the small bore accurized rounds heating up and moving target roll. This one has been one of my personal favorites inside of the Crucible and one that I feel very comfortable with. So I felt like if we were going to do a versus, we needed to use the best one that we had. However, it started to fail on me after a little while, and I got curious and decided to run the rest of my matches with the Eye of the Storm roll. This one comes with Arrowhead Break, Tactical Mag, Eye of the Storm, as well as Vorpal Weapon. The Vorpal Weapon really is a situational perk, but what I really wanted to focus on with this particular role was the Eye of the Storm, which grants you increased accuracy and boosts handling as your health gets lower. This proved to be a godsend in various 1v1 matches inside of the Crucible, and one that I think is a top tier perk. Overall, I would say that this weapon performed very well inside the Crucible. Like I said in a previous video, the Cantata-57 is one of my personal favorite hand cannons inside the game so far. Upon getting it for the first time and seeing that Suros Foundry badge on it, I knew that this was going to be a top tier perk. Combine that with its Foundry Origin perk, as well as just the adaptive frame of hand cannons, it is hard to imagine that this weapon is anything less than spectacular. Of course, you could go down a niche pathway and decide, particular roles that you think fit more, better towards your playstyle, depending on what mode you're playing in. However, I just wanted something that felt very snappy, that felt very good. If I could get my hands on a snapshot roll, I think that might change the game as well. But in terms of the roles that I do have, and specifically using them inside of the PvP space, I would say that the Eye of the Storm roll is undoubtedly one of my favorites. And let me tell you guys, this weapon is an absolute beast. Just the way that it feels, its incredible vertical recoil upon every shot. Eye of the Storm acts as an even greater buffer for that vertical recoil, making the pop-up that much more smaller as you're going in through these 1v1 engagements. No matter what situation I was in, I could count on this weapon to absolutely attach to their head. And I don't know if it's something with the weapon or something with the Suros Foundry, but anytime I have a Suros Foundry weapon in my hand, I just feel like I can hit those crispy headshots with no problem. So after using the Cantata-57, I decided to take the Crisis Inverted out for a spin. This is an Amalon weapon, another Foundry that I find to be one of my absolute favorites. They just feel good, they feel snappy, they feel fluid, and so I wanted to give the Crisis Inverted a try. Plus, I gotta admit, I love the actual look of this weapon. It looks like an absolute beast. For the particular role that I got, I was only able to acquire one role, so obviously there's better roles that you could probably run with for Crisis Inverted, but given the state of RNG, I decided this is the role I'm gonna go with. And for this one, I got Arrowhead Break, Flared Magwell, Rapid Hit, as well as One for All. Now this is an interesting combo, as Rapid Hit, each precision hit grants increased stability and reload speed. The stability is going to be really nice in terms of PvP. However, the reload speed also acts as a really nice buffer for PvE content as well. And combine that with One for All, where hitting 3 separate targets increases damage for a moderate duration. This perk didn't really help me so much in PvP. However, I could very well see its utility inside of a PvE space, running strikes or things like that. I think One for All is made for that. So this is going to be something that I might even hold on to. With Rapid Hit and One for All, this could actually be a really nice combo. As well as a handling masterwork, I think this weapon could easily rival that of Cantata-57 in the right hands. Now, in terms of this weapon's performance, Crisis Inverted did not disappoint me. I found myself very comfortable with this weapon. Similarly to Cantata-57, there was something that just felt fluid, as many Amelan weapons do inside the game, and I felt very comfortable upon my first utilization of this weapon. There was something that felt special, something that felt very comfortable, and this weapon just feels snappy. Now, it doesn't have as much vertical recoil as Cantata-57. There was a little bit of a sway to the left and the right in some engagements, but this didn't dissuade me, and it didn't really take me out of winning a lot of 1v1s. I was still able to win my gunfights. I was still able to get those crispy headshots. However, I will say that in the theme of comparison, I will say that this weapon didn't feel as snappy as Cantata-57. Using them side by side in a comparison, I would say the Cantata-57 just slightly edges over Crisis Inverted in terms of just that vertical recoil, in terms of that snappiness. However, I don't want to take away from the quality and the ability of Crisis Inverted, given the fact that I only have this role, the rapid hit one for all. Now, if I were to get something that was snapshot, maybe outlaw, maybe run with something that could increase the range a little bit more, perhaps accurized rounds or something like that, I think this weapon would stand a greater chance against Cantata. But just in terms of vertical recoil and natural stability, I feel like Crisis Inverted didn't necessarily hold its own against that of Cantata-57. However, in terms of just general reload speed, Crisis Inverted, given the role that I have, definitely edged out over Cantata-57. Crisis Inverted just felt good. There was something good about this weapon that I really enjoyed. The reload speed was really nice. I was able to get in and out of those 1v1 engagements, or if I was double teamed, triple teamed, Crisis Inverted definitely had a better shot of me winning than that of Cantata-57. I love that both of these weapons are arc. It makes the comparison that much more comparable. They're both adaptive frames. They're both 140s. So I think in terms of these weapons, it almost comes down to general preference. Cantata-57's look is very sleek, very sheen. The Suros Foundry produces some of the best weapons inside of Destiny 2, one of my personal favorites. However, Amelan is not one to be slept on. The Crisis Inverted is an absolutely beautiful weapon with nice design, great accuracy, not as much vertical recoil as the Cantata-57. Like I said before, there is a little bit of that left and right lean depending on how you spread out your shots. Cantata-57 just had that continuously vertical recoil, so in that way, like I said, Cantata edges out over Crisis Inverted. However, general feel, and given the fact that it has increased reload speed, Crisis Inverted definitely felt like my go-to pick in terms of being, you know, double teamed or triple teamed. I felt like I was more confident in using Crisis Inverted in a PvP space than I was that of Cantata-57. Now, granted, Cantata-57 has an ability that I don't think Crisis Inverted could even come close to, and that is the headshot magnet ability that is just intrinsically within the Suros Foundry weapons, such as Cantata-57. There was something about it where no matter what I was doing, I swear there were times when I'd hit a body shot on an enemy and somehow, some way, I was able to get that snappy headshot. 2, 3, 4 headshots in a row and just take out 2 or 3 enemies at a time, and it was absolutely insane. Cantata-57 just has a special unheard, unwritten quality that you can't necessarily put in words, but you know it when you see it, you know that it's there. Cantata-57 is just an absolute monster. So I think when it comes down to our first ever versus, these are 2 excellent hand cannons that I think people should absolutely go for. Now, I've been using, you know, my trusts in the day. I've been using some other hand cannons, you know, from trials and things like that I think are really good. But in terms of personal favorites, Amelan and Suros produce some of the best weapons inside of Destiny 2. And the Witch Queen has definitely delivered some incredible weapons with Crisis Inverted and Cantata-57. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely going to find myself going back into PvP in order to get a better role for Crisis Inverted, and I hope that I can find my god role for Cantata-57. I think I'll be swapping off between both of these weapons at least all season, if not through the rest of the Witch Queen's life cycle. But I know it's early, I know there's other weapons that will come into the fray, but I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that these are 2 weapons you should absolutely go for. But this is a versus battle, okay? So there has to be one clear winner, and I'd say that if I had to choose, Cantata-57 is just my top pick. It just is. There's something about it. If you've used the weapon before, if you have a great role, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that this weapon performs better than any hand cannon that I think I may have ever used inside of Destiny 2. I'm hoping I can get a god roll for it soon. I'm still messing around, still, you know, hoping that, you know, we can compare a couple others. We might do a versus battle with just a number of roles for Cantata in another video. But let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what roles you have for Crisis Inverted. Do you have a god roll for it? If so, let me know. Post it in the Discord. I would love to take a look at it. And if Cantata-57 is your choice, I would love to see a role for that too. The Discord link is posted down below. It's also on my channel page if you want to check it out. Join the Discord, all that good stuff. I would love to see what roles you guys have. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy. Let me know what you think of the roles that I use for this versus battle, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.